Attention listeners, the Skyline signal is an unauthorized broadcast operating outside of all emergency protocols. Our sole aim is survival. Stay vigilant, stay human, and above all, stay alive. You're listening to the Skyline signal, live from somewhere high above the chaos. Remember, if you're hearing this, you're not alone. Not yet. Good evening, or at least I think it's evening. Hard to tell anymore with the sky painted ash gray and the streets cloaked in shadows. This is your rogue DJ, broadcasting from the rooftop of what was once a shining symbol of commerce, Manhattan. Now it's just a concrete graveyard, a city of ghosts and things much worse than ghosts. Did you hear that? Probably nothing. Probably. Anyway, you're tuned into the Skyline signal. Let's get started. I see them from up here, moving in clusters, aimless until they're not. Their skin is gray, slack, but their hunger keeps them going. It's almost poetic, isn't it? The city that never sleeps, now undead and never resting. Ironic, but you didn't tune in for poetry. You tuned in for survival. So here's tip number 1, rooftops, the higher the better. Zombies don't climb well, and up here, you can see the world unravel in real time. Just remember to bring a fire escape ladder. A permanent perch is a death trap. Earlier today, I spotted a kid, maybe 10, maybe younger, darting through 42nd Street like it was a playground. He had a baseball bat over one shoulder and a backpack slung low. I called out, but he didn't look up. Smart kid. Noise draws them like moths to a flame. If you're listening, kid, I hope you made it. And if you didn't, well, here's hoping someone else learns from your bravery. That brings me to the next point. Never ignore silence breaking. If you hear something unusual, act fast. Whether it's a scream, a crash, or an eerie calm suddenly interrupted. It's never nothing. Newsflash from across the pond. Words come in that the Thames River is glowing. No, not metaphorically. People say it's this eerie green light that seems alive, pulsating. No one knows if it's connected to the outbreak or something worse. Keep your eyes open for phenomena like that. They might hold answers or just more questions. That's all for tonight, folks. Remember, the city is full of stories. Some are still being written and some are written in blood. Keep writing your own. You're back with the Skyline signal, Manhattan's last standing beacon. Or at least I hope someone's listening. If you are, let me paint tonight's picture for you. It's raining. The kind of rain that feels more like the sky mourning its own collapse. The bridges are quiet now. Silent monuments to all the escape routes that failed. I passed by the Brooklyn Bridge yesterday. Don't ask how I made it there. Let's just say rooftops aren't always safe, but they're better than nothing. The bridge, what's left of it, was clogged with abandoned cars, suitcases spilling onto the road like an overturned ant colony. Some people made it halfway across before there was a woman holding a dog just sitting in the middle of all that mess. I waved, but she didn't move. She wasn't dead. Not yet. Just empty. If you're hearing this, don't let the emptiness take you. It's worse than the bite. And speaking of bites, here's something strange. Reports are coming in about people who've been bitten but aren't turning. Immunity? A fluke? Or something else entirely? If you're one of them, if you're somehow still human, you might be our last hope. Survival tip number 2. Always check the weather. Sounds mundane, right? But rain can mask their scent and wind can carry their moans farther than you'd think. Nature's still playing its part, even when humanity's forgotten how to. The bridges may be broken, but don't lose faith. Where there's a path, there's hope, even if you have to make it yourself. This is the Skyline signal, coming to you from the rooftop of what feels like the edge of the world. Tonight, the air smells different. Less decay, more something I can't place. Hope, maybe. Or the calm before the next storm. Earlier today, I saw something I can't explain. On 5th Avenue, there was a light. Not fire, not electricity. It hung in the air, shimmering like a living thing. The undead wouldn't go near it, just circled around like it wasn't even there. If anyone else has seen something like this, I need to know. Are we looking at salvation or just another trick of this twisted apocalypse? And then there was the man I met near the Flatiron building. Said his name was Eli. He had a notebook filled with sketches of the infected, every grotesque detail captured like art. He said he wasn't running anymore, that documenting was all he had left. I wanted to tell him to keep running, but who am I to judge? Final tip for the night: keep a journal, even if it's just scraps of paper. Write down what you see, what you feel, what you've lost. If we don't remember who we are, the apocalypse wins more than just our bodies. Good night, survivors. Remember, the skyline might look empty, but it's still there, standing tall even as the world falls. Keep standing, keep surviving, keep hoping. Until next time, if there is one.